Hello everybody, and thank you for joining us. Those of you that are watching on Facebook, and those of you that are joining us from home or whatever you are on the radio, thank you for joining us and welcome. Today, I have the perfect couple for you. We need to talk about marriage, and so I have Monicah, Mwema, and her hubby, Pastor Ngewa. I'm going to let them introduce themselves, and then we take it from there. So how about we start ladies first? Monicah, can you introduce yourself?
Yes, thank you. Thank you for letting me into this wonderful FM, Ekho FM. Thank you so much. My name is Monicah Mwema. Yes, the Mwema. Yes, I'm married to Mwema, 3 children, and we've been to this marriage for 27 years.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, that's it. We live in USA, Kansas. We have a ministry in Lenexa called Global Revival Church. He's the senior pastor. I just assist him. And that's it. We are now here. We are at home, actually, in Olathe, Kansas.
Okay. All right. Pastor Ngewa?
Yes, thank you so much, ekhofm, Pastor Monicah Kariuki. Na unakaa fiti sana kama watu wanakuona kwa TV hapo.
Thank you.
Facebook.
Thank you.
Mama matata wewe. Yeah, nashukuru Mungu because of what Monicah just said. The Lord helped us because the Bible says the just shall live by faith.
Right.
Having preached the gospel in Africa and the environments, the Lord promoted us over to the United States, and we have been here for the last 20 plus years now. We left Africa married, na tulipofika hapa tukakuta kuna mchezo mingi inaendelea ya hii mambo ya ndoa. There was a lot of play around about marriages and families and stuff like that. So the Lord enabled us also to start this program, the Family and Dynamics, which usually airs on Facebook live. We go live every Tuesday. If anybody would just listen, we throw this word out there. It can help somebody because we know, we understand, and we have a very deep conviction that if the family stands, definitely the church stands.
Yes.
If the church stands, the society stands. If the society stands, then the country will stand. If the country stands, the continent consequently will stand. And if that continent is standing, then you can be sure that the whole world will all be very strong. But when the family is decimated and disintegrated, a lot usually happens. There are children who came into play, without their knowledge, even without any application according to what they usually say. And that they are there in the midst of a mom and a dad who are having constant wars or even sometimes divorce. And that the theme which has been our main theme has been, where is the missing link? Right. How can we connect the dots so that at least families can live as people this time, not as animals, like daredevils which fight for everything they've got to do. So anyway, I've been a pastor like almost all my life. I was Christian Union chairman since I knew Jesus Christ back in the early 80s. And throughout my life, it has been preaching and exhorting people and trying this time not to sugarcoat the gospel so that anybody who really has to be helped can be helped. Because as we usually say, it is not a must for people to go to heaven, but if they must go to heaven, then they must be compliant. That is now on the side of pastoral and ministry work. We got saved both in school, and we are not ashamed to, tell it out as it is that we kept ourselves until marriage, and here we are. We've been moving and moving and moving. Now, on the other side, Pastor Monicah Kariuki, Monicah may not have told you that.
Correction to that, I am not a pastor.
Right. Okay. You already your presenter.
I'm just Monicah.
That's good.
Then probably we are speaking prophetically that you will soon be one.
Thank you, Miss
So,
Monicah.
you have mentioned that you've been married. Well, you've been saved for a long time.
Oh,
So
right.
I wanted to
Yeah.
ask you then, how did you katia Monicah?
Right. Oh, yeah. Now, kuna kitu ambacho sikuwa nimemaliza on this
Okay, go
Monicah
ahead.
thing. Yeah, I wanted to do the full introduction so that people at least can know us fully.
Yes.
Whenever we meet or when you see us on Facebook, then you clearly know who we are. Apart from the gospel, definitely Monicah has been on us since she left high school. She just joined nursing school and then she kept on running in Kenya. And when she came over here, she did the registered nursing program, bachelor's of nursing program. And right now she's doing a doctorate in a psychiatry nurse. So any family member who has got psychiatric issues, definitely we will be able to help on both sides because we know stressors of life. And especially those which usually come without the knowledge of the owner. Postpartum depression. When you come to the side of men, there are things which people have never understood about men. You just see us walking. You've never gone into the inside of our brains and our systems to really understand who we are. And what keeps us moving or what makes us to break. Those are things which she's learning, trying to connect the dots here and there so that eventually at the end of the day, we can be equipped both with the wisdom of what people resonate with and also with the wisdom of the Bible. And mixing those two, we are sure that we'll be in a position to help the world. Well, umeuliza nilimkatiaje, how did I katia her?
Yes.
Is she the one who katiaed me for that matter?
Need to know that.
That is something, which we will expound here. We will expound here. And on my side, yes, I am pastor. Not only a pastor, I happen also to be in the teaching profession. I am a professor in matters of nursing education. Kenya wale wanaitangwa madaktari ambao wanatutibu. I've got 2 masters in nursing education and another one in nursing administration. And then I am concluding, my dissertation it's already approved, submitted, and then I will earn me a PhD, in these matters of nursing education.
Yeah.
So from May, June, I'll be addressed as Dr. Matthias.
Okay.
Pastor, professor, hiyo majina yote. Lakini what I usually run with mostly is pastor.
Yes.
And if people will know me as a pastor, shepherding will really, do for families. So how did we meet with Monicah and how did we really know that she's the one? I've explained in family dynamics and they said that the chemistry of love is understandable. The links usually fix themselves without the knowledge of the owner. This time you cannot follow what you call gut feeling. There's got to be some connectivity between you and your spouse. There is nothing like attempting or trying marriage to see whether it will work. It is something which you will need to get that experience from the word God. And once you have known that, and how do you know? Because I think that may be now where the issue is. How do you know whether this is the right person? Once you have known that this is the right person, then you've got to rudisha your vita in one area. Narrow down yourself. When we've been doing research, I'm telling you, those people who have not gone to school don't desire to. It is so difficult because every time a lecturer will stand before you and then you give out your topic there and they are like, you are too broad. Narrow down yourself to something.
Yeah, but tell us, what did you tell Monicah?
Yeah. So to narrow down yourself to a spouse, is a matter of, number one, your faith, and then number two, your cognition. Now, when I talk about faith, it relies on both sides. There is the Christian faith, and there is the faith which you have yourself as an individual. Do you have some faith that you can make the right decision? Do you have some faith that your spouse can also make the right decision? Because if you join those two faiths together, If I have faith in you and then you have faith in me, both of us have got faith in one another. And once those two faiths come together, I am telling you that that chemistry connects itself in such a way that for years and for decades of your marriage life, you will always be feeling it, that this was the person who was meant for me. I am the person who was meant for this other person. And that now goes together with something which we embraced some weeks ago called the marriage language, you know, the
Ngewa.
language.
Pastor Ngewa. We can get to that, you know, in a little bit. But I just want, you know, for, you know, us, you know, the viewers and, you know, the listeners to understand, how did you talk? Before we get to the rest of it, you know, just tell us how you talked to Monicah. That's it.
Right.
Yes.
Talking, very important point. Monicah says she forgot, and I'll tell you why she forgot how we talked with one another. But talking.
No, not how you talk to one another right now. When you saw Monicah the first time.
How did we talk?
The first time. No, not how, okay. Like, how did you hit on her? You know, how did you tell her, you know, okay, maybe she was a stranger. How did you tell her, hello, sister in Christ, I like you. Do you want to go out with me for dinner? How did that start? I want us to start from there. So we don't have so much time. So, you know, let's just like, you know, talk about these things as we go. So just tell us how you met Monicah, how you introduced yourself, and how you know, you started dating. That's it. That's what we need to know.
Oh, definitely. Okay, yes, sure. That is easy to answer. I was a teacher in a high school somewhere in Bonny Hills, for those who know Bonny very well. And she was a nurse in a mission hospital called the African Inland Church in Bonny. So how did we meet? On the work of the Lord, in a crusade somewhere in small, you know, towns of the hills. And in that first instance, probably nothing, you know, went on. I had no focus. She may have had focus, but personally, I wasn't. And then another second time, still on this mission, another that time, you know, we
were
met
you a pastor then?
We met one another now, going to another church in another area somewhere.
But you were a pastor.
Yeah, by then I was a pastor, yes.
And she was in the congregation.
No, not in the congregation. I'm trying to explain to you how we met initially.
Okay.
You know? On the road somewhere, I remember very well. Somewhere on the road between a market called Ngalicha and Tuvilani, in our hills there. Right on the road, I met her as she was moving towards Kikima Market. I did not know that she was coming to our church or something like that. I had a bicycle, and she was a stranger to me. So I could not offer her a ride because I didn't know whether she would expect or not accept. But I just encouraged her and told her, you know what, we've got a church somewhere down there. So if you're willing, probably if you're going that direction after you arrive, come there. And on my bike, and I went. I did not give her a ride then. Now, on a bike this time. A week, 2 weeks down later, we meet again in another area just by the road as I was coming, you know, home from school. And she's the one who threw herself on my bicycle. She was like, let me try this. You know, still quite unconscious and quite unaware about what this lady really wants, but chemistry was still connecting. I was seeing her. She's looking great. She's beautiful. She's a nurse. But during those days, because of this thing we call kuokoka, you know, for you to be seen and associated with a woman, you know, was unheard of, because we wanted to guard the testimony as much as we could. So well, eventually she got used to me. And now let me tell you where the deal broke completely. To cut the long story short, I got sick. And then I went to my brother somewhere, you know, where they were nursing me. She took the pain and came all the way down and, you know, saw me. And then I remember looking at her eyes and telling her, look, your kindness has been so great to me. And I will repay you for this. Just that. And then I kept quiet. Down the line, we just started moving, courtship, engagement, and very soon, then we found ourselves in the move. Is that
so,
good?
Monicah, your side of story? You hit on a man. You saw something you like, you went for it.
I had no idea what was going on. As he says, that was the chemistry which can be unexplained. I don't know how long after this it was after this, but I remember when we got serious, like the day that you came to my house.
Right.
Yeah, the Sunday he came to my house, and that's when he broke it up. That my mom was there. I think, I don't know. So when this became so clear, it was 3 months after the day I prayed. I remember one time when I was doing my family planning course, I went to the room I had been given, which was very big with the 2 beds and everything, but I did not sleep in that bed. The Holy Spirit struck me to the floor, and I was rolling on the floor, and there I was, because I was already a nurse. And so I told the Lord, if you give me a husband, I will take care. Nikwambie nilikuwa mtu wa mchezo sana. Nakuta ndugu ananipenda na ninamshow. It's just a joke. So just go your way and go my way. That's it. But this time I told the Lord, that's the only time I spoke to God. If you give me a husband, I will take care. Period. 3 months down the road, he came serious. That was the deal now when it came 3 months. And I don't know if I told him, but the day he broke it, I also did not sleep. I went rolling down in my house again, being very shy to God. Why you have answered so quick, you have answered so easily. And this was just a conviction that the things have started. You see, as he says, I've never been seen with a boyfriend. I've never taken anybody to my mom. I've never been seen walking with a man hand in hand like we are talking, not even going for coffee, not going for anything. Right from my high school, primary school, I was a CU leader. High school, I was the biggest preacher in the school, Changori and Girls High School. Kijabe Hospital, I was the main person to organize Christian fellowships. To Nakuru, to everyone, nilikuwa na organize ya kina Margaret Wangari. So, singe karibiga. That was one problem, one thing. And I had no eyes to see and to think about marriages there. That was not So it was 3 months before he came. That's when the thing started.
Okay. All right. Okay. So obviously the two of you liked each other, and eventually you went ahead and got married, right? So they usually tell us that marriage is not a bed of roses, right? So once you get married, or as you got into your relationship, when did the challenges start to begin, or when did you start having challenges? Women remember better than men. So Monicah, can you answer that? Yeah.
Yes, I will tell you. The first thing which came to my mind after accepting him is actually that day we said, oh, we have to continue now. Yeah. So what is the plan? We had to go and tell the parents, we have to do this and this. We have to do this and this. We gave ourselves exactly 2 years, which was really packed. We went and told the parents that nothing can change because we are workers, and it has to be this introduction, this pre-wedding on the other side, marriage, period. So the challenges were, I am from a different culture. I'm from Kitui. He was from Machakos. There were 2. I knew my mom does not, and my parents don't accept Machakos. You see, the biggest challenge has struck now, straight. I've accepted Machakos. I'm from Kitui. They don't accept Kitui as such. It's long time ago. Remember, this is almost 30 years ago. And the culture was still a problem by then. So Kitui, they have to get to receive dowry. They don't give dowry. So there are so many challenges there. About us, there was nothing as our challenge. Our challenge was done, accepting one another. And the thing is, it's up to marriage. That's it. You won't be seen with me, I won't be seen with you. I had never been seen with a man, he had never been seen with a lady. So that one is a challenge itself, because we have to be seen, two of us. Whoever pastor will ask what is going on, we have an answer.
You guys now overcome that to eventually get married, Pastor?
Yeah, it was through facing reality, because if you get real with what you are doing, real will always be positive.
Right.
So if I knew she was the right person, and the chemistry told me that this is exactly her, and well, it was a bond which no one could separate, then I had to be bold enough, to tell my parents, look, this ain't going to change, just like what too many girls and boys do. It's unfortunate for those who usually say that, and then they eventually come to realize that they were just carried out by emotions. But I did that. I would apologize to those who do the same, and the thing stands sour. I had to, because, well, I had decided, I had made my mind, and I had known that this is the lady, this is the woman I will stay with. So I faced my parents, and I went also and faced the parents she had during those days, and this is what I told them clearly. The only person who can, in the real sense, dismiss me from your family is her. If she says here and now that she doesn't like me, you will never see my feet on your grounds anymore. I'll let her speak for that. And well, she stood up and boldly said, if I don't marry this man also, I'm not marrying any other man. And there we were. The parents now could not object, because anyway, I was not marrying her mother or her family, I was marrying her. She was also not going to be married to my brother or my dad. They had to accept what we said, and period, final.
Wow. Okay. I think, like Monica was talking about, having different cultures. Sometimes we always get into this problem, families not accepting another person because they are from a different culture. But yet it's the two people that are going to get into this marriage, not the whole culture and not the whole village. But Monica, I want to move on and ask, sometimes, when we are married, when people are married, you will have problems because it's not perfect. It is never a perfect marriage, right? You work on it. And so, Monica, tell us what your experiences have been, or what you have been doing whenever you have a problem, or if you've ever had a problem. If you haven't, that's great. So if somebody had a problem in their marriage and they needed to speak to a third party, because maybe the other person is not listening, or we are not getting anywhere with our arguments. Do you recommend going to her side of the family, or do you recommend going to his side of the family? If I go to my side of the family, they will always see him as the bad person. If I go to his side of the family, they're probably just going to take sides. So what do you recommend? And what have you been doing?
Yes, that's a good question. And I will answer that question not out of experience, and out of experience too. For one, it depends on the ground you started, the ground you stood to start the marriage. In my life, I had been dismissing people so much, and I was not a good one. But I think when I came to think of who can be my best couple, who can stand beside me, that was a problem to me. And I can say openly that I had failed in that side to think about who can be. So I dismissed so many good people, but the parents who became our best couple, he came up with them. I took them like my parent. I feel like they were more than the bad parent, because my mom did not expect me to go back to her at all for anything. That is the religion. My mom is a AIC pastor, and they will not accept the people like running back and forth. No. Once he handed over me, and they became friends with my husband. So they agreed so much more than me and her. So our best couple, they were, up to today, I really respect those people. And from the word go, I did not think that I would go back to them. No way. Neither was I going to go back to my reverend, the pastor who joined us. So you see,
are they the ones you tell when you have an issue?
So you see, I am not giving room to issues.
Okay, got it.
You get me, right? I am getting to marriage. I am not expecting any issue. And you know, I think that's the faith that goes beyond. That's the faith that touches beyond what God wanted to do with you, because He's not going to give me a time. So I'm telling you, it's not out of experience, but if somebody has a problem in marriage, I would first look into the counseling. How was the counseling from the beginning? And I wouldn't mind people coming to me, because I don't believe on issues. I know they come because these are two people who don't look alike. That's why I'm saying I'm not talking out of experience. These are two people who are not born the same place. They have different characteristics, and issue can come up. Well, for us, I don't think of any issue. Seriously, I don't. It's only one day I woke up.
So should they go to their husband's side, or should they go to their side to resolve this issue?
That's why they have bestie couple, because
can I weigh in?
Yeah, come on in.
Yeah, go ahead, Pastor.
Yes, Monica. Yeah, we really understand the dynamics of how other families run.
Yeah.
But we ourselves can only give our experience, because experiences are usually completely different, you know, from one setting to another setting.
But you do cancel couples. So when you cancel couples, what do you tell them? You know, when you have issues, go to your side, go to the other side. What would you tell them?
This is the first thing here, because you're talking about issues now.
Yeah.
Where are these issues? They are between you and your husband.
Right.
This has been our thing, and if you follow what we tell them, even on family dynamics, it may have some weight on it, even though it is the most difficult thing to do.
It is.
There is no one person who can solve or resolve the issues of your family as a couple.
Nobody.
Than you and him, or than you and her. So if people learn how to sit down and square their differences before they get out now to seek for some counseling, because we have never had an experience like that, where we have to look for that party now to resolve what we are having, you know, in our house. If they would learn how to solve it themselves, that would be the best court. That would be the best thing to do. Now, if it is beyond there, then it will depend on what kind of an issue they are solving.
Right.
There are some issues which will require the guidance of your best man, other issues which will require the guidance of their mom, the mama of the wife, other guidance, you know, the mama or the father of the husband, etc., depending on the dynamics of what issue it is. And the second point, which is important, it is good for us to learn how not to just rush to let us find a solution outside our circles.
Exactly.
Because once it breaks from you and him, or you and her,
and you cannot die preventing that anyway. So, depending on the issue, you cannot just die there thinking, if I speak it out, it will go out. But seriously, if you two are defeated, then you are defeated.
Okay. So, you know, sometimes, and the reason why I ask that is because, you know, sometimes you may find a marriage that, you know, a husband is really, really trying to work it out, you know, and the wife, you know, probably is not, you know, they're just not on the same page, you know, and they need somebody else to just intervene, you know. Yeah, go ahead, Monicah.
I will tell you, in our forums, the family dynamics, you will see where is the missing link.
Right.
There must be, we have talked about this seriously, and on a serious note, go back, rewind, and see, where did this begin? Only the two of you knows. Because if a third person came in, you know where when the third person came in. You know. Kuna mtu anjui. Kama mzee amekuja nyumbani akinuka marashi ingine, you know that day. Mama anajua. We always say mothers are planners. You know exactly. We know those small details. So it's between you need to agree. Unless otherwise, you know, we don't know how other people solve their problem. But I am telling you, we have solved our problem. Me and the pastor, we have solved our problem, which was walikuwa wamerarua hizo kabisa. That's it. Mabarua zimetupwa. So yeah, if you come to me, I know how to handle that, but I don't know where to tell you to go to the other person, because no parent may not handle that unless it is something genetic. A genetic issue is coming. That's why pastor is saying it depends on the issue. Because if you are mnazaa watoto wako na shida, then you can go to the parents and ask, were there genetic issues in this family? Were there genetic diseases, conditions in this family? But before you reach there, you too must have solved it and identified what kind of issue is this, and who is the next person to go for this issue. It's not just about you are fighting in the house and then you run to the best couple, we are fighting. Atawatuma nyumbani, atawambia go and find out why you are fighting.
So we need to keep it in ourselves, is what both of you are saying. We understand that, and thank you for that. So I want to talk about, couples or families that have arguments in front of their children. Personally, I never saw my parents ever argue. My dad has never laid a finger on my mom, and I just never saw fights. So what do you tell those people that may have arguments? How do they cool it down until they can go somewhere where the children are not there?
Right, yeah. There is an important starting point which can give them the locus of understanding on the rules of the engagement as a couple. And the issue which usually sparks out an argument is not just something which comes as a result of a man coming home and finding a woman and children, and then the argument usually begins from there. No. There are usually signs and symptoms which will show somebody that at least you now guys are moving towards an altercation here. You guys are moving towards a point where you'll be raising your voices, against one another. And we have given them this analog that if you are talking to somebody who is across the range, of course you've got to raise your voice. Right. But if you are talking to somebody who is near to you, actually now, like, look, during, we have not got into this, but let me jump, the rope and go there. During intimacy, do you do it when you are yelling or you are quiet? Do you whisper to one another or you are talking, So what does this show you? It shows you that if you start yelling with one another, you are far away from one another. You are in distance. That is why you are yelling, so that the other person can hear you. Try to come closer again. Come back together. Ask yourself, hey, what is going on? If there is something which we need to resolve here, can't we just get along? There's a message which we preach about, can we just get along? Can we sit down? Can we square our matters? Can we talk? Because if we start solving these problems like we are slashing the branches of the tree, it has the trunk and the roots. Right. We need to go all the way down to the root cause. What is causing this? Because we don't just come to yell at one another out of nowhere. It must have started somewhere. And at the nick of it, because again, women, we're more responsible than the men. Because we are the ones who are carrying the whole thing. The whole load of the family is on the shoulders of the woman. No man can say with definitive terms that I know this child is mine unless they go and do a DNA. So what does that tell me? That the secrets which you keep, even those ones which are within your very own deep core things which you don't want no one else to know, they can help us to identify the issues in the family and solve them from the word God. Definitely, if you've got to talk, well, telling you not to yell when the children are there will not help you, because it is something which is behind something else. You're not just yelling because you should yell. You are yelling because there is something which is unresolved. Now, if you look at what is unresolved and get to that, it will be easier for you to get through that real quick.
You make a really good point, Pastor. And I like that, that if you're yelling, that even our love and emotionally we are not connected, it shows how distant we are from one another.
That's why.
That is so profound, and I've never had that before. Thank you for that. Monicah, what were you going to say about that?
Oh, well, I was just going to add something that I heard from somewhere. Do not yell to one another unless the house is burning. So there is no yelling unless the house is burning. That's when you can yell to one another. And the pastor has always been talking about that. You don't yell until you are very far. You know, when we talk about the prodigal son going far, it doesn't mean that the distance was far. Maybe they were sitting. There are people who are far away even when they are sleeping together. They are far away. They can even shout when they are there. So yeah.
Yeah.
And the women are always very wise. If a woman approaches issues wisely, the thing will be solved.
Okay, so I want to ask you, Pastor. I know you help Monicah around the house, you know, and when a man is helping out around the house, that doesn't make him weak, you know. So you don't lose your, you know, place in the family as the head of the household just because, you know, you're songa ugali for Monicah, or, you know, like washing a cup she used, you know. So talk about that.
Two things are in play. Number one, the culture where we are brought from. We know and we understand our culture. We are all not saved, so we cannot really speak like we are addressing saints for this matter. We understand that there are in the dynamics of how families are brought up and in their cultural setup that men traditionally are not to visit the kitchen. They need to stay away from the kitchen, otherwise they will be termed as gluttonous. And in some cultures, actually, if a man visits the kitchen, the woman raises the alarm. They call the clan. This man is cancelled because why? He is transgressing. He is going beyond the limits of what he is supposed to do culturally to bring respect to that family. Our daddy should not touch dishes when mama and the daughters and everybody is here. You know, that is how it can go. Or our daddy should not be seen holding that mweko. For a man to hold a mweko and koroga the ugali in some cultures, that is a sign of gluttoniness. That's why you hear them ask, doesn't the wife feed him fully? You know, and now it is even interconnected to this feeding is not the real feeding of the sufuria.
Yeah.
It is connected to that even feeding on the bed. So if you see a man korogaling ugali, it shows that this woman is not doing all the job which she requires to do. And that is why this man is, it is like, I can hold this mwiko of ugali as a sign of I can go to another woman. That is the cultural connotation to a man making ugali when it comes now to the world where faith is not. Now, when you come to the liberation which we receive from Christ Jesus, and when I was wedding, the guy who wedded me said, I am giving you only one number. When this number is called, you both, not Monicah or Matthias, you both will need to rise up and say, sir. And what did we learn from that? Together with what we were preaching and what we understood, we knew that a man and a woman become one flesh. Then now you go back to the book of Genesis. God gave Adam a helper, Eve. What does a helper mean? A helper is not a person who comes to do everything for you. A helper is a person who finds you doing and then takes over a part of what you were doing to make the work easier. And so I would advise men to start moving away from that culture because we know it's not true. We know that when you're making ugali, you are not gluttonous. We know you are not trying to imply that your wife does not satisfy you on everything. We also understand that it is not kukaliwa chapati and bibi.
Yeah.
We understand that it is it's some sort of a courtesy, you know, because it is not a matter of you are used to doing it or you are being forced to do it, or it is you who should do it anyway, because if you don't, then your wife will be bitter. I am telling you, like in the settings where we are in the United States of America, we all know and we understand that there are no butchers. And so if you get one, of course, you've got to give them the minimum wage. 15 bucks an hour. No one is willing to do that, or even the money we earn is not enough for that. So you cannot really let the woman struggle with everything in that home, from vacuuming, cleaning, shampooing the floor with the washing machines, taking all the clothes and washing them and hanging them, etc., etc. I mean, she has also responsibilities, because in the United States, you've got to run as she's running. She goes for 8 hours just like you do. So when you meet at home, look at what you can do to her. And this needs to come automatically. And the woman should not demand that do this. We've got to give you the secret of our home. Those dishes can stay in the sink for 3 or 4 days if mama is busy and dad is busy and nobody else is trying to take care of that business. Because anyway, she's not a slave. I am not a slave. It is our work. It is our responsibility. And the woman gets time fast. Go and wash it using self-drive. This time not pointing a finger at one another that, as a man, I don't want to ever find this sink smelling or stinking or even looking like this. If you find it stinking and you're a man, and you cannot go there and wash it because anyway, you know what your wife is going through, then for that matter, you are dictating. And that will be one sign that you will soon be yelling at one another in that house.
Wow. Wow. Monicah, when a pastor helps you around the house, how do you feel and how do you say thank you?
Well, there are so many ways of saying thank you. For one, I've been helped in a very, that burden is gone, and I'm doing the next one, the next course I'm taking care of a different thing. And how do I say thank you? It's a life. Miss Monicah, this is our life. We live it. It's our life. We live it. We live. We don't count. We don't count how much she has done and how much I have done.
Okay.
You know,
so
the most thank you element which I would, say she does give is to acknowledge that she is stuck with me like to the end. There are no signs that she's being moved or she's being looked, around, or she's looking around for an alternative.
Yeah.
Because well, there are women who usually know a different route, and men also who know a different route. That, well, if I find this house unclean, I know there are other areas where
I can go and stay.
Yeah, I'll find it better clean and washed, and food will be brought to the table, and then I'll go and find those white sheets made on the bed, etc., etc. And woman, you can stay there out alone. Well, look,
it's a lifelong.
It should be a lifelong commitment.
It's a lifelong commitment.
Right, where you understand as a man that this is my home, this is my house, this is my responsibility. And I don't become less of a man by washing and cleaning and sweeping and doing all these things. Actually, it is a great joy for me to go wash those dishes and make the full set of food, from the mboga to the ugali or the rice and the stew, and serve my wife and my children. So they are grown, but at least to give them that food while they're sitting, and then I sit down with my plate and I'm seeing everybody eating food which I have cooked. I mean, that gives me some satisfaction. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I can also do this.
I can also accomplish something.
This is great.
Yeah.
My wife can eat and appreciate food from me, and not just write it somewhere in a note that you made some good food for me in this date, but she can say thank you. I mean, it gives you a kick inside of you. You go and sleep satisfied. You are like, oh yeah, I feel like a man this time.
I feel like a queen.
Yeah. So, Monicah, tell us. So, when I've seen Pastor, showing his affection, in public. I saw him. I think he was trying to put on a shoe for you. The way he holds you. Honestly, the affection that we see is something that a lot of people admire. And if you guys have been married for 27 years, and Pastor, you're still able to hold Monicah's hand. And, to show that affection is really admirable. So, Monicah, when he's doing that, to tell us, how do you feel?
There's another time I shared something and I said, it's not being spoiled, but I feel so taken care of.
Yeah.
And I think God just gives me that heart of accepting and knowing that it's not until tomorrow, it's not until 5 years are over. I know this is going to continue. If we can tell you our life is different, I'm telling you it's different. Yeah. Since I got married, I've never handled money. I don't handle money. Do I make myself? I do. That is very complicated for some people. They think they have to have this account and this and hide here and here. My parents, they prepared me for one thing, to go and take care of your husband. And I think this is what God taught me when I said, if I get a husband, I'll take care. There are those are cures that which may come and may not come. But in my heart, I just remind myself I am not spoiled, I'm just taken care of.
And if I may explain a little bit deeper there, she has touched on a very important point, which I know too many families have gone on long ahead about money. Money. Well, point number one, if you understand that the greatest value which you have in your house is your spouse.
Exactly.
Everything else, clothes, cars, bank accounts, money which you are earning, etc., will always come secondary. Material. So when she says she does not handle money, she's not trying to say that she doesn't go purchasing or buying or using. In the real sense, she needs to be very clear to you and tell you that all she knows is to swipe that card wherever she's swiping it. And it is the responsibility of the husband to ensure that there is money in that account, for me to swipe. Whether she went to work or she did not go to work.
So right now, what other women out there are thinking, can there be a clone? Like, can you be cloned? As in, can there be so many of you that can just say, it is my responsibility to make sure that, yes, you're swiping that card, but there is money. That's what I'm saying.
And you see now, look, this is what I would add to that point. When she's going to swipe that card, definitely, she was at work somewhere.
Yes.
She earned some money, she knows it. What she's telling you is that she doesn't come to be careful to ask, okay, the last paycheck I brought $2,000. The other paycheck before that, I brought $5,000. When I look in my account, I am seeing something like a balance of $500. Where did all this other money go?
Yeah.
Questions like those kill the family. The reason being, after she understands that all what is in this home belongs to her, she will be careful to take care of it. And whatever she brings, she knows that it is a supplement to whatever the man is also bringing. And she understands that she can never lack. Second, it will be an embarrassment to the husband for her to go and, while she's shopping, swipe the card, and then the cashier says, hey, look, you do not have sufficient funds in your account. I mean, wait a minute. Are you coming from a home where a man lives?
Yes.
There needs to be that sensitivity to understand, yes, my wife is earning. I know she's bringing money. And look, men should never be insecure that sometimes their wives would earn more than they are earning. And men should also never take the advantage of spending everything their wife makes so that at least they can feel that they are on top. That is second to stupidity. You need to understand yourself. You need to know you are respected. You still need to know that you are the head of the house, even though probably you bring little. But
the head of the house.
What is in your mind? What language? And I would wish people go and look for that, message. What language does your spouse hear? Because not what you say, but what they see. Are they seeing consistency in that home? Are they seeing reading security in that marriage? Are they reading longevity in that marriage? Are they reading tomorrow will be a better day than today? Because who can demonstrate all those things? The man who happens to be the head of the house. Who can bring the environment where that stuff can be demonstrated? The woman who needs to understand that she is the matriarch and she is the one who came to build that dynasty. Because anyway, as I will say, families belong to mamas. They are not daddies.
So, Monicah,
Yes.
you guys are very interesting. You're a really good couple, and I'm so glad I have you here. So, Monicah, let me ask
We
you.
will help whatever we can.
Yeah. So there are some, women, they get married and they feel, I have arrived, And so they forget that when he saw you, he probably saw you, one of my pastors said, he probably saw you in a miniskirt and he liked your legs. He probably would like to continue seeing that. What I'm trying to get into is that marriage or relationships are about constant attraction. It doesn't mean that now because we're together that I'm not going to need that attraction. I still need to be attracted to you so that I can be intimate with you, right? So how do you, advise people to keep up with themselves? Also, too, I have to point out, that you have to keep up with your age and you have to keep up with the fact that children are here now. When I was younger, I wore all the revealing clothes there was, but as I had my son, I'm like, okay, I'm not going to have my titties out there. I'm not going to have, I'm not going to have that because now I have a son around. And as he's getting older, I cover up some more, so there's that. But how do you keep that attraction going?
Right. For one, before I got married, I never used to take care of myself as such. I lived a very simple life. I'm not a makeup person. I don't put makeup. Even now, I don't have makeup. So
well, it doesn't have to be makeup, but just how you look good.
That's right.
You always do.
I just continue the way I used to be. How he made me, how he loves me, how he liked me. Like I'm like that, and for sure, if you see me many times, I don't like big clothes. Like a touch person, big clothes, long. I've never had a headscarf in my head, and I just know that. And by grace of God, most of it is the grace of God. You see another message we spoke, and I said, the peace in mind affects your skin. If you, I'm doing psychiatry, and I know disturbed mind affects your skin, your look. By the way, I can tell somebody is depressed just by looking at the skin. And I realized this that the peace of mind reflects outward. If whatever he wants me to do, I do. I wear. He buys me clothes, and by the way, that if he buy when I'm not there, those are the clothes which fits better than when I go to buy myself. I don't know. So I belong to him, and what he wants will keep my makeup, will keep it up. There is a lot to keep a lady looking good when the husband is giving peace, because there is you are satisfied. For one, we are not from rich family. We have had any type of money, but that money has not been our joy. Me and him, that's it. I'm telling you, when we just got married, I remember someone came to my clinic and was like, I was just coming to see that lady I had who loves her husband so much. I don't know that word. I'm like, then here is the lady. What's the difference? Look at me now. So it's the peace. The peace of mind keeps me moving. It keeps me moving. I've had twins. My tummy was all over. So just imagine if I've done delivering, if I kept the shape. I don't think I kept the shape, but when I got the twins, I was 63 kgs. And when I got the C-section of the twins, or twin boys, they are 26 years now. I went back to 47. When I got married, I was 47 kgs. So after the twins, I went back to 47. So that means the grace of God is so good, kept me back to the... I have nothing to boast about. It's only God. I don't know, and I don't work on this. Working on making myself, I don't think I do. I just live. It's a life.
Monica, you want me to say something on that?
Yeah,
Pastor,
Yeah, unless you're running out of time.
No.
You may need to organize another forum so that we can finish your questions.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah,
You
well,
go ahead. Talk
right.
about that.
To any man out there, and listen to me, man, if you are tuned, or if you come later on to listen. The first thing which will make your wife look attractive always is to give her a peace of mind.
Right.
A smiling face, if that is what you saw, because, well, you smile at one another when you are courting and engaging. So if you want to see that glittering image which you saw when you first met her, make the environment conducive for her to smile throughout her life. If she starts getting stressed, I am telling you, you will see a shushu soon in your home. She'll be there. Now, point number 2, women, remember that what this man saw has not gone anywhere. It is the same figure which he was like, I better die, than not have her here. So she has not changed. The face has not changed. That glitter of, the inner beauty has not changed. Those eyes are the same. She's the same one woman. Who you touched, you felt great, she melted on your hands, etc., etc. That can be kept throughout your life. And how do you do that? Now, I'm getting to my point number 2 on women. If men are out there and what they see are those miniskirts and those transparency stuff, etc., etc., and that is what takes you. That is what carries you away. Go to the shop, buy what you saw, bring it home, let your woman put it. Now, yes, there are children at home. What will they see? I'm telling you that they notice and they learn from you. If they see mama and daddy concentrating on one another, they will adapt to that because that is the environment they will grow in. But if they are seeing daddy and mommy quarreling and talking loud, etc., etc., they will grow knowing and understanding that this is the environment which, people usually live in. And they are likely to end up in a abusive, quarreling, talking, disorganized, dysfunctional relationship with their spouse when they grow old. So, Monica, do not fear to wear those things when your husband and when conditions entail to. It's not your son you're wearing for. You're wearing for the man who married you.
Right.
Put them on and come on, move around there like a peacock. Well, unanionaje hapa. Unaweza kunidu. Ebu angalia mzuri. Kwani wewe unanichua kivipi? I can also talk. I can also, and you know what I mean?
Yeah. So, okay, now let's talk about intimacy, and that's why I talked about attraction. If we have that attraction going, and now that you've taught us about if we are yelling at each other, it means we are not well connected and we are far from each other. So then intimacy is probably not going to happen. Okay, so how do you guys keep that fire burning? Who wants to go first?
By living.
And don't tell me it's just believing in Christ, because yes, you can read all the Bible that you can read, but still, you also have a duty to do. What happens?
That's one thing. Yeah, that's very important. For one,
you guys have disappeared. Okay, yeah, you're back.
Okay, we are here. Okay, yeah, someone cannot just create love in a minute and then you intimate and that's it.
Right.
That's animals. That's animals, and I used to challenge girls in Africa and in Kenya, and I'm not a good one when it comes to that, because I told girls you are being used like a latrine only when you are needed, and then you go. No, we have taught you how we live. That life, the intimacy in bed is prepared years ago. It's not just like that day, kaa vizuri, penduka hapa.
Yes.
It is a long life preparation. The way you live is the same way you intimate. The way you guys, you see us public is the same way we stay at home. The kids, they know that. Our kids, they know that they should not be part of our game. Yes, they came by the way of the game, and then they have to continue with their life, but we have to continue with our life. So that's a long night preparation. I don't go putting jasmine perfume so that he can like me. No. Are we getting lost?
Yes.
Can you hear us now?
I can hear you, but I don't see you guys.
Oh,
okay.
I don't know why it's going like that. Yeah, so I can continue. It's a lifelong preparation. You love each other continuously. When it comes to bed, it's not something to prepare for. It's not like you wear a different cloth, no, or put on this, because we have talked about the lady in the public and the lady in the house, the lady in makeup and the lady in the bed. It's not a preparation. We prepared actually to go out. We don't prepare to go to the inmates in bed. Yeah.
Yeah, let me contribute to that.
Yeah,
she's saying it's a matter of it's a continuous process. It is not a finished product.
It's not.
And the problem which I may point, I don't have experience with that because anyway I have never lived that life. Is to have different segmentations of living this life. You know, when you are talking about money, you are in a different segment. When you are talking about in-laws, your mother, my mother, your brothers, my brothers, you are in another segment. When you are talking about your children, you are in another segment. Now, when it comes to marriage life, I mean intimate life, that now becomes also another segment. And I will tell you, there is nothing as horrible as approaching a bitter woman on bed. Number one, she will not perform. Number two, she will be feeling used because anyway, this is the guy who made me bitter. And now he's here trying to put himself inside of me. I mean, why am I here? It's like she's asking herself, what am I doing in the first place?
What's my purpose?
So just like Pastor Monicah is saying, it shouldn't be anything. It shouldn't be a big issue. We were talking about the elephant in the room. It shouldn't be a process. The process, like we started this too many years ago, and this is how it has been moving. So when it comes to every time for everything, things are threading themselves inside in such a way that there is no one, you know, who has got to be restarted like a heavy machine, which has got to be rolled.
Tinga tinga.
What was that thing called?
You got to understand, yeah. You've got to understand how things work. Because if you don't understand how things work, they will never work.
Yeah.
Don't approach it from the perspective of it is my right to being given, or it is my right to be made happy. No. If your plane is flowing and it has taken a level, oh my goodness, all these things will just come like they do.
Yeah.
Now, it's fortunate or unfortunate that at least I'm not conscious myself that people take note of the way we hold one another in public. I did not know how meaningful this is or how meaningless this is to people because I don't pay attention to that. It is just a pause which we have been having. And then we'll take another one, you know, and look at one another with whichever way. She's my spouse. I should make her feel comfortable and happy and encouraged, and she should feel, who else should I hold if I can't hold her?
Okay, this is it. I take care of him as I take care of myself.
There you go.
When I'm hungry, I know he is hungry.
Okay.
Good thing for these things which happens automatically, like or
Right.
naturally, like being hungry. You cannot say that you will never be hungry. If I need him, I know that is the time he need me. By the way, that's something we were told in the wedding.
Oh yeah.
I remember. He said when you had, I had. Yeah.
When you are hurting, when you are feeling pain, you should know that your husband should be hurting the same way. So in this matter here, let's help somebody out there probably who is still hesitant and who doesn't know how to handle this. Now look, for women we said, well, don't always wait to be called or asked or prompted. You know, this is your thing. And because it is your thing, take advantage of it.
Right.
Yeah.
Sometimes you may come to a man and then he's not very interested. And when you are interested, that is the time he's not interested.
Yeah.
Begin it.
Then what? Then what?
Get him, and if he wants to sleep, you can even yell like something is happening. Hey, come on, there's something going on here. Let him wake up. He needs to know that it is time for you.
Okay. All right. So what about, when she's, she says she's sick? Isn't a man supposed to understand at that time? If she says she's not interested, today, just be understanding and let it go?
There you go now. There you go again. There you go. Where will that moment come from anyway? If you guys are flowing together, are you a woman of a different mind to your husband? Because when you are sick, the man needs to know even before you say.
Not
when
even
you
to
hear
try.
somebody verbalizing and saying that he's sick, then know that probably it is an excuse. It's a reason they're actually trying to make. The husband should notice and see changes in the wife he married, and they say, I think there is something which I need to take care of here.
Yeah.
And to my sick wife, definitely I will see and know. And it is my time, number one, to take action. Take action like what? Take action to seek for medical intervention. Now, if I am turning to that woman who says no when she wants to mean yes, and yes when she wants to mean no, I have a problem. For her to say I am sick and I am not aware about that sickness, happens now to get into another level where we are playing games.
Yeah.
Are we still together? I mean, are you my wife? Are you the one
Yeah.
I know? Or this is somebody else who just intruded into my room? Because I should know her, I should understand her, I should know her cycles, I should know her lows, I should know her highs, and I should know when to, and I should know when not to. I should know when she's interested and when she's not interested. If there are things which are affecting her psychologically, so that at least now physiologically she's not ready for all this. As a wise man, I need to know this. It is the duty of a man to know all those,
Yeah. Yeah.
What is going on here today? When it brings a question, then there is
Your volume keeps going down. I don't know why.
Oh, okay.
Your volume.
Oh, okay.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. So go ahead, Monicah.
Yeah, so I'm saying when there is a problem, there is a problem, and we say you have to look for where is the missing link. Even in that inmate, where is the missing link? And we women, we know we are emotional, but we should understand our responsibility too, that we have a responsibility. For the whole year, what do you think? And there must be now an emotional problem going on. So yeah, we have a responsibility, and I said we women, we know how to analyze the small details. Can this cause this? Can this build? Can this bring down? Because a wise woman builds with her own hands, and a foolish one tears down with her own hands too. So we understand these things, and as long as you understand your responsibility, kama ni intimacy, hakuna mahali pengine anastahili kuenda, ni kwangu tu. Now you cannot just use excuses. Though some of them will look fake, and when they look fake, as he said, we are playing. That is now a game play. You start playing game, and you start hearing problem going on. So we have to be responsible too.
So let me ask you this question, and I know this does not apply to you guys, but I'm gonna ask it because I've seen people asking this question on Facebook, and they usually say that women, if you give your husband enough sex, is he going to go outside the marriage, or is that going to keep him? Pastor, how would you respond to those people that ask that question?
Yeah, I got an answer to that. Definitely, yes, I will answer you. And if somebody out there is paying attention, then they need to listen to me, because there are some things where you can bring jokes on and other things where you shouldn't ever bring jokes on. And the first thing is, after you are married, if really you want peace with yourself, peace with your wife, peace with the family which you will ever make, concentrate with that one woman who you have. These issues of going to get it somewhere else should not in the first place be a matter of discussion on a married couple. Why were you married? I know you were not married for sex, yes. There are other many things, which are as a result. But if that was the main thing, then you've got a woman at home. In the real sense, then why are you going out to another one? If you are not satisfied with that one woman, you should make that determination before, in the first place, you tell her I will make you my wife, or I will make you my husband. It is something which you've got to, number one, be very sure and candid about before you begin. Because if you're still trying whether it will work, I mean, you've got a long way to go. So women, yes, you can do it and do it very well and do it again tomorrow and do it again tomorrow still. But if you have got that caliber of a man who is like uling'ang'ania na watu wengine kule, ukampokonya kwa watu, ukamtoa kwa umati wa wale watu ambao walikuwa nao, don't come to expect that man to change once he's at home. He was still continuing with the habits which he had. And if you thought that yours was the best from Mwekalis and Akinyis and the rest out there, you will be very surprised, because what you married was not a honorable, reasonable, prudent man. You got somebody who you were attracted probably by the way he looks or by the way he plays those theatrics on bed, or etc., etc. But his real habit is what you know him, from the beginning, before you even started this. If he was with the 3, 4, 5, or 6, the question which you are asking has answered itself. If I give him very well, will he still go out? Yes, he will, because he was before you married him.
Wow.
That goes without saying. Now, Monica, the second thing, as we advance in age, and this will be another subject of another day, we need to understand the dynamics of intimacy, because the theatrics which we had at 25, 26 when we married, or if you married early at 20 and 21, you still do not have that same vigor, that same throttle when you are approaching 45 and 50 and 55. But can you still do it? Yes, you can, within the limits of your energy, with a lot of understanding. I would challenge every man out there, after you hit 45, don't run to Cialis and Viagra. We have got a research out there which says, since those medications were approved, the number which is known as having died for use of this due to changes in their saturation, they cause stroke and stuff like that, it's more than 2,000 people. Now, we have known that there are some men in Kenya and elsewhere, who have died under the influence of such. They don't, in the real sense, increase intimacy. What you are having is lust, and we need to distinguish between intimate satisfaction and the lust, which the lust of the eyes and the lust of life, which kills, because now that goes into different dynamics. Your wife is enough, your wife is sufficient, she's the same girl who you saw when she was 20 years of age. Go into her and do what you've got to do.
Okay, so very quickly, let me ask a question about romance, because, I think, Monica, I shouldn't even say Monica, but most women, when we come to America, we are caught between the American culture and the African culture. And so we want our men to kind of have the African, culture a little bit, but also at the same time be romantic, as in, okay, not just, like buy me flowers, take me on a date, things like that. But like earlier we were talking about, Monica said, we are not animals. You just don't get into it and you just having intimacy. Actually, I'll give this, one of the pastor's wife said, she told us 3 women were making chapos. One woman, she just came, she, koroga water and unga, and then she rolled her chapos and she cooked. The second woman, she koroged her unga, she put oil, she cooked the chapos. The third woman, she koroged her chapos with water, she put oil, she rolled them, she put oil, she rolled each one of them, single ones, and then she let them sit for a little bit, and then she cooked. So the time that has taken for the third woman, to make those chapos. So now the pastor's wife was saying, if you take your time, start talking to your wife in the morning, and tell her, prepare her for the evening, things like that, you will end up having the best intimacy. So when I'm talking about romance, I'm talking about men that do not understand that all that was being romantic to prepare me for what's going to come maybe at night or whatever. It's not just we wait until at night, like Monica was saying, Mama Shiko, So can you talk about romance, of dating, sending flowers, being, just manly?
Yeah, there is something that we like telling people. When you marry a partner of your age, that means that you will be doing things together. There is this age difference which doesn't really work. You are 50, you are marrying at 24 years, This lady will want to be taken to movies, yet you nothing about movies in your mind. Yeah. So this intimate relationship is very good when people are of the same age. They are in the same page. They are thinking the same, and this preparation, as we said, we married when I was 20. I think I was 26 or 27. I'd never had a man. I have nothing to compare. I got it, and that's it. So my strength cannot be compared with somebody who has had who has been trying up and down, because I don't know what they've been trying to. And this grace gives me a stamina to keep. From there, I knew it is time for intimacy, of course. Marriage, if it is not about sex, it's not gonna work. That is the main thing of man and a woman. That's the main thing. It's not about bringing up children or buying plots and lands and the castles and everything. No, or working and becoming big people. See, you see, the time we are finishing our education is because we have gone step by step after marrying. I was supposed to do a lot of things, but I calmed down because of my family. That's what I'm saying about the relation, about responsibility. There are things that you need to cut down because of your relationship. And by doing so, by growing up to 27 without a man, that was preparing for my daily intimate relationship without preparation. I think I've prepared it enough. I would encourage people to stay till married. When you are married, know that don't start looking for going to do those lipo stuff to remove the tummy when you know you are a woman and this tummy will grow because of kids. That is pure understanding and the responsibility of a woman. You're not going to start looking for making your face put together so that you may look like how you look like. You've already added extra.
Talking about, Monicah, I'm not talking about all that. I'm just talking about forget about even the rest of the days. I'm talking about today. Like in just one day. If we want to have that special time together, Pastor, how do you prepare Monicah, for that special time?
Right. Okay. Mrs. Kariuki, and anybody else also who may be listening. This may sound a little bit weird, but look, it works, and I know it does, because if it works for me and her, it shouldn't work for everybody. Now, when you are asking whether I should prepare Monicah, shouldn't I also not ask, shouldn't Monicah also prepare me?
Yes. Definitely.
So it then now boils down to who is whom, because this is not something like when a man was getting out to go hunting to ask for a woman somewhere, get given in the bush and then they run out and they go home. It is something which you
have forever.
Which
God part you.
We usually challenge people and tell them that this is not a sleepover.
It's not a
You're not just doing it for one night and going.
Or a WhatsApp group where you left.
Or WhatsApp group where you can left. And if the administrator installs you, then you get back into doing it. It doesn't work like that when it comes to marriage and the intimate relationship. It should be an ongoing process, and it is ongoing in what the analog of what that a pastor's wife was trying to say about preparing the dough to get the chapati out. It always comes out in different style when it is prepared differently. Now, this is one person who is preparing the chapati. Supposing I was there when we were making this dough, Supposing, well, I saw you trying to skip one step of applying oil and some little sugar and some little pinch of salt so that this chapati can be good. Well, when we both sit down to eat the same chapati, which we made, both of us, it will not bring any dilemma to the other person that this chapati does not taste right. It is we who made it. And so it is our chapati, we can eat it the way it is, you know. So if you, and again, look, if it has been a process, just like we are saying, where number one, some things are taken care of because we said a bitter woman, a woman with a sore spirit, a woman who is depressed because of things which have been happening, unresolved issues, etc., etc. A woman who approaches now the matrimonial bed with all those things inside of her head will be a woman who is just being used by a man to fulfill a certain need, and then after that, the man will sleep and that's it. By the way, women get confused because they are waiting to see a man in their home. And when you're just there, you do what you've got to do, and then you are out and you sleep. Tomorrow, let's meet again. This woman gets confused. What kind of a man is this I married? So if you are planning together, if you are doing everything together from morning all the way to evening, these texts which people text one another, you are texting one another also, just like anybody else is doing. If your husband is quiet, mshtue. Muulize, hey, kwani nini hapo mnaendeleza? Haujakula ile kaugali nilikuwekea kwa nini? Kaugali gani unauliza? Sio kaugali unauliza. Unajua kaugali ambako unauliza ambao akaja leo. You know? Ili mwenyewe akikuyo uombea kaugali. Nataka kujue vile mambo inaenda. So let the woman not be just the one who should be approached. If I become the only one to approach, it's like I am still asking, I am courting you when you got into my box. You've been with me for 20 years. What else do you want me to do so that you can perform? Or what is that which, as a man, your wife should be expecting to see so that they can perform? You know, ride on it as you go. Prepare yourselves fully in the very first instance so that at least the rest now will just become something like a top half. I don't know whether we're answering your question, Monica.
Yeah, you answered my question, and I just want to move on actually and just ask my final question so we can close. So, there has always been, you know, men conferences, women conferences. So men are hesitant to going to men conferences. Most men are, you know, because what are they going to tell me, you know? So women are the ones that are usually going to these, you know, conferences. So there's some women that go to these conferences. They learn new things, as in, you know, to even have intercourse a different way. And so when they come home, you know, they're showing a new way of doing intercourse. And the man is like, okay, you must have gone to see somebody else. You must, you know. So what are we supposed to do so that we can even like teach us, you know, like teach ourselves, you know, even couples, you know, because it doesn't have to be the same way all the time. You know, sometimes it needs to be spontaneous. Sometimes it needs even to be, you know, even if it's outside, you know, something, you know, it doesn't have to be on the bed all the time, you know, but how do you teach him, you know, so that he doesn't take offense that, you know, like, oh my God, why are you coming up with these things, you know, especially, you know, people that are Christians, you know, they may think that, you know, you must have gone somewhere else. Monica, when you go to conferences and you come back with something new, how do you introduce it?
You are right. Okay. How to introduce anything new? With my, you know, I married a friend, by the way. He's my friend. Despite he is a professor, he's a doctor, he's a teacher, he is my mentor. He is my mentor. I used to like listening to him preaching, and up to today, it is still testing. So, it's easy to talk to my friend. Very easy to tell him, oh, let's do this. Okay, I come from the other back, and only that, unless this conference is teaching you worldly things which look like they are done by animals. We are human beings. We respect ourselves. We respect our bodies. We respect who we are. We understand that we are not animals. Whatever you can do, I don't imagine there are awful things which you see in the internet, and you cannot bring that home. Definitely. Yeah, we respect our family. And some people do stuff because they are doing it today and you will never see that person again. As we know, it is until death part us. Are we able to handle this until the end? There is that message. Can you handle a woman? Can you handle a man? And there are those things which are done like just for today and that's it, leisure. Ask my husband, he brings me rose flower, which are so good. My mind won't be, and he knows that. My mind won't be like, where are we going to trash this tomorrow? Because it's not going to live forever. So I'm not saying I don't like flowers, I like them. But bring me fresh flowers, I know. This seriously adds nothing. If you talk about the honey, give me the honey I eat. Don't tell me about the honey for nothing, sugar.
You still did not tell me about introducing new styles, Pastor.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Now, well, I have never attended a conference which taught how to do sex and intimacy. So I may be a little bit naive on what techniques or what stuff they learn. But well, look, for you to keep your wife intimate or your family burning with the fire of that thing, I usually tell people, and that is my thing, that there is no one person who can ever teach you how to run your family or how to do this stuff and then it works. Because what worked for somebody out there may in the real sense not work for you. Now, number two, that may be a little bit important. We are all not wired the same, you know, and even the way we are made is not the same. You may find a woman's organs are made different from one person to the other woman. And so if this one technique worked better for this woman over here, because of the structure of, you know, feminine things, it may not work the same for another woman on the other side, you know, who has got a different structure, because those things may be wired differently. You know, whatever is touched so that she can feel fulfilled for one woman may not be the same place where the other one is touched to get some fulfillment, you know, on the other one. So in most of these seminars and issues, which are those things which are taught, it's a matter of trial and error. The real thing, the real deal is between the two, you know, the two of you. What technique does you feel satisfied as a woman? You know, if that is the issue, go for that. If it changes a little bit and it is bringing some few changes here and there and you feel they are good, you know, go for it. But let it not be the main thing that I am going to learn how to show this guy how to do stuff, or I am going to learn how to show this girl how to do this stuff, because definitely you will fail. They have improvised means and ways and methods from the year 1900 all the way up to today. If those things were all good enough, we would not need discoveries of others. Those wouldn't be right. So if you come and hear somebody saying, I left because she doesn't know how to give, or I left because he doesn't know how to perform, there was something more to this. Now, let me finish here by saying this, Monica. The other thing is those women who have learned the habit of trying various men, they come in different sizes and strengths. You may try one who has got a good, you know, size which fits your tailor you very well, and your husband has got a lesser issue down there. Well, you will keep on moving, looking for experiences like you had with that guy who really did something and you felt like, oh my goodness, I wish this was my husband. If you concentrate on yours, God made the nature of those things in such a way that they exactly fit. They fit the way they are tailored to the way you started. If you get out and do something else with somebody else different, now it's up to you. You are confused. You are confusing your system. You are trying to configure it one more time. You are trying to program it one more time. And that will bring issues to your family.
So I have a question here, and this is from Melanie Wangoi, and she says there are those cases where the couple don't have the best couple. Who should they turn to if they are having marital issues? Monica, do you want to answer that really quickly?
Yeah, I would encourage those people to identify the right but
a couple which is thriving.
A couple which is thriving, and if they are identifying both of them, that means they have solved half of the problem. Yeah, if they are looking for somebody to handle them, and there are two of them, that means the problem is half solved. They are just looking for somebody to confirm what they are doing, if it is right or wrong. So they can look for a thriving couple. Yeah, we are here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pastor,
yes, I try to advise that
just
person
want us
again
to answer
also.
the questions. I want us to answer the questions really quickly so we can close. We've been over an hour. So there's a question for you, Pastor. Is love at first sight anything reliable, or falling in love must be gradual process? And this is from Edward Kimani.
Can you ask that again, please?
So Edward Kimani is saying, is love at first sight anything reliable, or falling in love must be a gradual process?
Oh, okay, yeah, well, falling in love should not be a gradual process. It should be a real issue, because it is not a matter of falling or not falling. If you fall, you will stand. But if it becomes a reality to you that you can love, then you will love. What do I mean? Feelings disappear. It's like I have a headache, it will go. But if you are having that experience of loving, because it now gets a connectivity between you and this person you are having, it becomes something everlasting. His issue may be, how do you identify your true love? Well, to identify your true love, again I said, is a matter of the connectivity between the chemistry of both of you. If the chemistries agree, commit yourself to that person. It shows your bonds. Your bonds are strong in that issue.
Okay, and there's another question, and this is from Dorothy. She says, how long should the courtship last? Monica, do you want to answer Dorothy?
If you realize that this is the right person, there is no need to keep courting. You only understand the language, and you see that this person is the right person, and you are the right person, and there is no strains. There are no strain from you, like I was also married to so and so, so I have to go and divorce that one. No, if you realize this is the right person, there is no need to strain. It's just move on and make the arrangements. Of course, there are steps, and that's why where the best couple comes. They help you plan and set a date, and you know that the commitment is for life. It's not trial.
All right, so I am looking to see if there are questions, and I don't see any questions, but I see we did have a lot of visitors here. I see you, and Anu, we see you all, and I see you, Coach K, Maggie Mita, I see you, Winnie Swart, Modani Batia was there too, or is there, Teacher George. We had traffic here, so that's good. I see Susan Siocha. So we really had good traffic here. Let me see if there's one more question that just came. Who said that? Okay, so Winnie Swart says, I pray our men here embrace assisting their women in the house, in house chores without feeling wamekaliwa, because Winnie is in Kenya. So that was just her comment that, she put out there. So what I'm going to do, I need you to very quickly just give advice, or encouragement to people out there, whether they're looking to get married or they are in a marriage already. So ladies first, Monica, just give very quickly just an encouragement and we can close.
Yeah, okay. Thank you so much, Monica, for giving us this podium. We just want to encourage people, if you got married in Africa and you got married in America, marriage is the same. Let me tell you, right from Kenya to America did not make any difference with me. I see my husband the same, nothing changed. So we should not expect anything else to come in the middle of us or in the midst of us too. We don't expect anything, and once you don't expect anything, you keep moving without feeling insecure. Feel competent all the time. You know you're married and that's it. Do you feel married? That is the question. Do you feel married, or you feel like somebody is just in the house? So I want to encourage somebody, and we don't mind if somebody reaches us, we can talk, because we know these are dynamics, and there are different dynamics in families, and feel free to reach us. We are approachable, we are reachable. I am always available, and when we are busy, we will still come back to you.
Do you want to then, in that case, do you want to give information? How can people reach you?
Right, yeah.
Oh, yeah, sure. Oh, well, yeah. I wish there was a place here to write, but people can reach us through email. They can either write to linkmutuo, linkmutuo @yahoo.com, or Ngewa link, Ngewa at yahoo.com. You can send us questions through that. Most importantly, you can join our Facebook pages. We have got Pastor Ngewa Gospel page, and then we have the Family Dynamics page. Any question which you want to ask, you can forward those through those two links, and we will be able to answer. If you are free in Kenya, you can join us. It is around 3 or 4 in the morning. That's a weird time, but you can listen in the morning when you wake up. The Family Dynamics program, it is free. We give free advice. And probably we should start asking for offering, because people attach value to what they participating. It may help you better like that. But look, to conclude, girls, number one, when you are preparing to start this family, I would rather challenge you, please, if it is possible on your side, and if it is not possible, you better not give. What do I say? Don't just dish your goodies to people. I usually call it blessing people who cannot respect their blessings. After they have known you, 4, 5, 6 men out there, they will now be pointing you with their tongue. Oh, that one, I have heard that. So what is the use of having her anymore? And this is the problem with the boys. They don't only want to marry virgins or people without children, but they want, number one, to be given, and eventually still come finding somebody who has not been touched. Where will they get that person? So in this case, whose work is it? Where does it lie entirely on the girl? If you say no, you have said no. It is your goodness, it is your thing. Wait until that time comes. I wish we had time to read the book of Songs of Songs, you know.
Yeah, I think we can do that another time, Pastor, because I think I am from the world of, you have to test the car, you have to test drive the vehicle before you buy it. I don't think I would take a chance like Monicah did, you're just praying that everything is going to be okay. Yeah. So there's that world of people, that believe that, I need to see, to verify that, we are there. So there's that too. But anyway.
Amen.
Go
After
ahead.
they verify, then you need to follow them with a question. Okay, now you're verified. So what next? You still want to go and verify somebody else? They're like those men who go testing the snuff. I think that is not the right one. I mean, the one you said is not the right one and you have already tasted. Who else do you want to go and get that and
But can you imagine, Pastor, if you get married and find there was nothing there? Then what are we going to do? Then you as the pastor, you're going to tell us, okay, God does not like divorce, So I think that would be a conversation for another time where we can have you, the pastor, and the worldly people like me that say, no, I got to see. So we can have that discussion and then, and see the way forward. What do you say?
Thank you.
No, there are so many things that happen nowadays, that some of these things, it could be there and it doesn't work. Then what am I going to do? And this, you're telling me as a pastor that this marriage is for life, Then what are we going to do? It means one of us is going to be going out, but you don't want us to do that.
The chances in that case may be like 1 in 1,000 or 1 in 1,000,000.
It doesn't matter. You still want to be sure. You still want to be sure.
Trust that the system is right, because also as a woman, how do I know whether your thing is long enough to make me feel what I like feeling? I mean, so
that is true.
Why would I want to try your short one when I'm looking for a long one?
That's exactly why we have to we have to test drive these vehicles before we buy them.
As a woman, I will tell you, hey, come on, stand up, I'll get a ruler and measure and see whether this is good enough for me.
But can you do that? But can you do that before marriage? You can't.
No, you can't.
Exactly. So that's why I'm saying that would be a discussion for another time where we can have worldly people like me, you know, that sees it a different way, you know, and then we can, you know, read the Songs of Solomon and see that, you know. So we can have
that worldly though, Monica. Don't count yourself off so much like that.
No, not necessarily.
You're not that worldly.
No, not necessarily. I'm not that worldly, but I think what should I call it?
You are
practical.
So
I'm practical.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm practical.
And remember, women get the most in damage.
There you go.
So we don't, we want to live better. We want to enjoy life. We want to enjoy who we were meant to. So we don't want to enjoy life like a rag. Like a rag. Yeah, we want to enjoy life so that when they see you, they long for you, but you are unreachable. You'll be reached by only one person who wins the game.
Right.
Yes.
Okay, we can talk about that another time.
And probably that may be the reason for so many marriages, because, well, I know if Jerry does not give me, I will go to Mwema. If Mwema doesn't give me, I will see Elizabeth. And the boys, when the boys are told this stuff, they will never be responsible. Believe me, they will never be. But they know there are free goodies out there.
The world today, honestly, we have moved from that. I know you guys got married a long time ago, but honestly, we have already moved from that, and we don't even we don't think necessarily about, like if he sees Jerry, he might see to, Wango, we know that there's that possibility, but still the world today, most people, they still want to verify. Most people will do it.
I wish we start moving from that culture of verification, because what we are trying to verify is an institution.
So a long time ago is when people did not verify, but nowadays, especially even with these new millennials, it's all about verification.
When did it start? And is there any research which can tell us where that began?
Not necessarily, but I don't have any research, but
So if it is just a habit which people are developing, it's easier to take care of habits. We have a psych doctor here who can help in that.
Doctor, we will talk to you later.
I'm ready to talk to somebody. As soon as somebody identifies one Kanisha or one Siombua, let them bring, because there is no difference. There will be I will assure them there is no difference. From the biological part of it, there will be no difference. So if Peter identifies Siombua, let them come, we'll talk.
Okay, so for women, it may, I don't know, I'm not a man to tell that, that women's, is organ is different, I don't know that. But the thing is, we know for a fact, that male organ is different. And, as much as, they usually say size don't matter or size matters, it depends on the user. Right. So those are the kinds of verifications that people are looking for, because, some users, you actually show them this is how we need to do it. This is how we do it. And they still don't get it, and then if they don't get it, sometimes they're just
where there is the interest of the user, there is also the user disclaimer. I will give you that disclaimer, Ali. If my disclaimer doesn't fit what you really are looking for, move ahead. There is somebody else who will get my specification. And
so that disclaimer is what women most of the time don't get,
Right, okay.
And so, and so that is what makes people, go looking, to make sure that, they don't end up with,
something useless.
Just a red light. Right. If you see a drunkard, remember alcohol is the first thing to get into the cell and destroys the the productive cells.
There you
So
are.
alcohol destroys organic cell, the productive cells. If you see a drunkard, red light, there will be a problem.
They are likely to have a small one.
Yes.
Okay.
From the mouth of our psychiatrist.
You're speaking to an expert now. Why wouldn't we hide? We got to tell you the whole thing so that you can help them.
So drunkards are likely to have small ones.
Oh, yeah. If you are going, you're looking for one and then you land on a drunkard, you're in trouble.
Run the other way.
You're going to have a stick.
You know, okay, I think I have more questions here. Let me see.
Okay, Monica, bring them on.
Growth is needed in every area of. Okay, so Moses Murenga said growth is needed in every area of marriage, including bedroom matters.
Yes.
So that's from Pastor Murenga. Do you want to respond to that, Pastor?
Definitely.
It's
yes.
just a comment. He said growth is needed in every area of marriage, including the bedroom.
Definitely,
Right.
yes. And I would also let him know that experience matters.
Yes.
And this thing of intimacy grows better as you age, because for one, when you are young, and well, this has been proved through research. When you are young, look at a boy having a girl there. I've had them complain that a boy can cook food for 3 hours and eat it in 2 minutes. And you hear a girl crying like that and you understand what they mean. So the pastor is right that it needs to grow earlier. A man gets or even gains that experience as they move across, how to delay the issues which usually get them, kick them out of the system so quick as they move in such a way that they will go up to and including that point when the woman gets what she has to get, and then the man now can finish the other. So the experience may not come by trying or by learning. It comes through doing. The two of you, because you are two there.
Practice with the two of you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What you are doing when you marry at 25 will not be the same way you will do it at 30.
Yeah. Yeah. So in that case, then I do have a question for you. When do we, can you differentiate quantity versus quality of intercourse?
Yes. Biologically, well, we know, and now let us be clear here. There is what everybody calls orgasm. That we all know, we understand. Probably boys, for that matter, may have been confused that girls don't. They do. They go all the way, even you can know it because through experience, as you do it as married people, from one year to the other year, the way you performed when you began will not be the way you are performing as you move. So when the man now adapts to life, and it also comes with, as they lose more energy and throttle in doing this, they will delay to get out the seeds of population. Now, when they delay that, and then they keep on, doing what they do with this woman, she will come eventually and reach. Women are harder to arrive than men, because men, when they've got to come out, whether they want it or not. But to a woman, there's nothing which is coming out, but our body has got to sense that, go all the way up to the threshold, over and above it, and then now relax and they feel good just like the man does. So the one thing which men have never known, they need to know that women must feel relieved just like they feel relieved when they ejaculate, to be clear.
Yes.
And also I would encourage women, look for a position which is fit for you, which you are enjoying,
comfortable,
which you are comfortable, and which you think you are reaching your orgasm on time. Not just stay there and wait for the man to finish.
While you are sonaring,
when
you are done, just tell me.
Just tell me. You have to be participant and work on it and work on the side which is reaching faster. That is how you enjoy. And let me tell you, that thing creates a good immunity in your body.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Okay,
by
so
doing it
Monica,
right.
in that case, let me ask you, a lot of women, especially African descent,
Yeah.
they are so shy to say what they want, where they
Yeah,
want
like
it,
me.
how they want
Yes.
it. And so then how do you, get comfortable, with this person and tell them, look, when you do it that way, I don't like it. I want you to do it this way.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You still.
Wait a minute. Never tell a man I don't like it that way, they will collapse. The thing will go back. What you can do is just turn them the way you want. You work them on.
Work on it.
Women, where are you?
Yeah. Turn yourself to where, okay, even from the back, you turn quickly. You let them know, okay, this is what you wanted. It's a language of marriage. Language of marriage. It's not, everyone knows the marriage, the language of the other partner. Yeah.
So you determine what you want. They are your goodies. And you can have them from whichever, wherever they are. Do it as a woman.
If you want if you are the faster person and you want to stimulate it earlier, work on it.
Work on it earlier. But if you're waiting to be entertained, you'll be very surprised. It will never happen.
So how come a lot of men do not understand what you just said, Pastor, that it takes a while for women to reach orgasm?
Yeah, they need education.
Because they don't listen to Monicah Kariuki show.
Yes.
Thank you. So they need to
they need to listen to you as the specialist. You've got a secret to tell them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tell them next time not to miss.
Yes. Okay. All right. So I see Liz Mwewa. She's been watching. So I think we will have to continue with this session sometime. Let's keep going with the discussion. Liz is saying, let's keep on going with the discussion. What do you want us to discuss, Liz? I thought I've covered everything. I see Pastor Moses Murenga. He says, very true. A woman must be very clever, must be a very clever driver. Yes. Let me see. Okay, so Winnie says, we need Mrs. Ngewa to clarify. We are asking on behalf. Clarify what? What do you want her to clarify, Winnie?
The position?
Yes, maybe.
Maybe the right position to receive, to get your
goodies.
To get to your goodies.
Yes, yeah. So
tell her to reboot to the original position which she got when she got an orgasm quicker.
Yeah, to remember that time when she got it better.
That was a right position, yeah.
Monicah, can you also then talk about, there are some women that require clitoral stimulation for them to orgasm.
How about those who have been circumcised?
How would they be able to get to their...
Yeah, there is always a spot which is heat and stimulates the orgasm. They should look for it during the game. Yeah, and they can talk as they continue. Sometimes they just keep quiet and they wait for the game to end. No, they should also twist to the right side. If that side is testing better, you twist yourself to that side. If it did on the other side, you twist yourself. If you want it to delay, and if you want to hurry, there is a way of hurrying this man to finish up and go.
Please tell us about that.
Okay, doesn't matter for me, so Monicah, don't ask.
What is it called? Yeah, there is a tightening of the muscle. Kengo muscle. Kengo muscle, yeah. And by the way, you also need to have eaten better healthy meals.
Okay.
For you to be able to be strong enough to straighten the Kengo muscle. Kengo muscle is like when you go to pee, you can stop the pee.
Yes.
You hold it, even though you had a good urge to pee. straighten the muscle so that you don't pee. That is not the Ekho muscle. When you strengthen those muscles during the game, the man will just pull, and that is done.
Actually, in some countries like in Uganda and Rwanda, going towards the mid African countries, women are given bananas to break before they can.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
With the Ekho muscle.
With the Ekho thing there.
Yeah.
You're given a banana to break. If you put it in there and then it is right, and then you squeeze it and then it is broken. Oh yeah, that is a good woman right there. She can manage marriage. She can handle a man. She's ready to be married. Are you talking about
a raw banana or ripe banana?
A ripe one. Of course, a raw one is hard.
Okay. All right. So Winnie says that she wanted clarification on size while drunk.
Oh, size while drunk.
Because you said alcohol shrinks it. So she says she wanted clarification. And she says she's asking her neighbor.
The phenomena of alcohol.
You know how you were talking about alcohol, you know?
The phenomena of alcohol is because when it is saturated in the body, it's not a one-time drink. I said andrangged.
Yeah.
If somebody has been drinking and drinking, you know that there's a person who may not give your kids. Because alcohol is one element which gets into the cell and it destroys a lot of things. So people can research on that. I know something about that. So drinking a long time drunkard who is marrying a fresh girl, there may be problems with the sperm count, that can count enough for making reproduction. So
and the cell target of the real thing, you know, those cells which make the thing stout.
They are produced fuel.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me just ask one question. What about dryness? You know, can people, you know, use lubricant, you know, things like that?
If you're older, you know, when that's what Pastor said, when you are 25, it's not like when we are 50, you know, we are over 50 years and above. You can try, but that's also what I said, you should eat healthy, because if you are a nurse who goes 16 hours without drinking water, you come home and you are like, I'm back, a tree back. Very hard.
Very dry.
So that way, if you just want to satisfy your hobby, you need to have because you can be hard, and the minute you can use lubricants. There are different lubricants. Go to
not Vaseline. You know, not Vaseline, because sometimes I see, you know,
Vaseline are messy. There are those special ones which they act like just a natural lubricant.
Yeah, and
Monicah, don't you usually tell them which types to use? I thought you do this.
No, I've never had this show.
That's why they need to come to your show.
I know I've never had this show and be so elaborate like we have been today. So yeah, so today,
especially when we are here, they need to pack outside and open, and they
yes,
keep in bed.
Yeah. So today
and we got to tell them to listen to Monicah Kariuki. She's the specialist in this stuff. If they listen to me as a pastor, they will be lost, because I'll call the Bible.
Exactly.
No,
but not too much word.
No, I think they need to listen to you, because me, I'm going to tell them to try it before they get married. So they need to listen to you. Yeah. So I'm going to lose them, you know, so I don't want to lose them. You know, I think they'd rather listen to you. But guys, I really want to thank you for taking your time, and we have had so much fun. And I'm sure a lot of people that have been listening on the radio and have been watching, they've had a lot of fun as well. Someone had mentioned here that, Pastor, you're hilarious. So this has been a really, really great show, and I look forward to having you guys again, because we can talk about so many other issues. I appreciate you guys so very much.
Monicah, you are just great. You are one of those people who will speak it as it is, and then you know what? If you don't help these people, if you hide what really, you know, destroys and kills their love and their marriage, We will keep on complaining. We'll never quit complaining. So keep up the good work.
And you are
Thank
so
you.
special. That's good. I mean, by reaching us, not so many people want to reach us. You are really unique. Thank you so much.
Well,
God
I
bless
saw,
you. You
I
are
saw
blessed.
something. I saw something, special with you guys. I mean, like I mentioned earlier, the affection that you guys display out there. It's very telling of the relationship that you guys have, and it's very genuine. And I believe that if we learn from genuine people, then we can actually have the answers that we're looking for. And so when I looked at, I've been looking at you guys for a while now. Monicah, we're friends on Facebook.
Yeah.
And then one time you actually commented on one of my posts and you said, my husband and I, we speak everything. We say everything. So I was like, my
we
perfect
speak black
couple.
and white. We don't hide. If you want the real thing, just reach us and we will speak.
Yes.
And the next time we will make Mr. Kariuki uncomfortable by bringing him to sit just by you. We will be talking this while, is this what you ask when I'm not there? Yes, Mr. Kariuki. Yeah. And this is what we will do from today.
Trust me, you do not. You don't want me to share my experiences. If I share my experiences, churches are going to close. And on that note, I'm gonna go.
Oh yes, if you tell them to go and try fast, you are a great woman.
I'm gonna tell them, you need to know. You need to know what you're getting yourself into. But anyway, thank you so
like
much.
hearing that a lot. They want those people who just let them loose and free. But when they start crying, they will come back with questions. What could I have done for it to work? Well, get back to the basics. Look at the foundation. If the foundation is strong, you can build 100 stories above that foundation. If it is flaccid, well, the house will keep breaking 20 times. No wonder you will hear them marrying 5, 6, 7 times. What are they looking for? Is the problem the man or the woman? No. What they are leaving is a woman to get into another woman. What they are leaving is a man to just go and get into another man. And the cycle will continue.
If a woman is good, is looking for a good woman. If the woman is not good, where will the good man come from? It's just a match. Match.
Well, thank you so much.
Depending on what anybody will suggest to decide, to think, to go through, that is their thing. If they just decide to do it the way Monicah Kariuki says, that's all right. If they decided to do it the way Pastor Ngewa says, it's right. But look, let's compare. Let's look at the results. Where is the most weight? If there will be consistency and the longevity, if it is done right, that's what we're looking for. Well, if testing and living
is working,
disseminates us, it doesn't really give us the exact end product which we are looking for, let's look for the other way. I like changes. That's why I moved from Africa. I would still be in Kenya. But because I liked to change my locus and try life elsewhere, I had to fly and come over to the United States. So, well, whatever works for you, do it.
Okay, guys, I'm going to end it, and again, I'm gonna say thank you so much for you guys, to be available today, and for those of you that are watching from anywhere in Kenya, here, whatever, we appreciate you so much. And for those of you that are listening, again, we will see you again next Saturday, the same time. And the Ngewas, thank you so much. You guys are wonderful. Thank you. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.